I have Chad the kitty here with me today, and I'm just going to be going over how I groom Chad. So I always start off by trimming their nails. I just use some really simple nail clippers that I got off of Amazon. You can get them on Amazon, Ryan's Pet Supplies, Walmart, basically anywhere. They're just pretty basic little nail clippers. They have one special for cats and for dogs. You can use both for cats. It doesn't have to be specific to cats. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm pushing out his nails so I can see where that quick is to make sure that I'm not cutting the quick to make him bleed. I'm gonna make sure that I'm moving his body around to what's most comfortable for him. You can see that he's very chill. He's used to the whole process. So he kind of knows the drill by now, and he just kind of hangs out there while I trim his nails. Now after I trim his nails, I'm going to go ahead and grab my cordless clippers with my number 10 Arturo blade. Arturo is by far my favorite brand of blades that I use. I've tried tons over the years, and this is definitely my favorite brand that I have found. I'm using a number 10 because it is the safest blade that you can use on a cat. Cats tend to have very thin, tissue paper thin skin, and you don't want to cut them. So you have to be very, very careful as you're shaving them. So you're going to see me spread that skin apart with every stroke that I make. I'm going to be pulling their skin to make sure nothing wrinkles up and that I don't cut them at all. So right now I'm just doing that very rough shave. That's getting a majority of the hair off. This isn't going to start out perfect. I'm just going to get most of that hair off so I can really see what I'm doing to make sure that I'm getting everything nice and clean and safe. So I get all those big chunks of hair off at first. He is getting a lion cut today, so I'm just going to be leaving his mane and a little tuft on the end of his tail to give him that lion cut. As you can see, I'm kind of shaking the hair off of my blade every time I make a stroke. Cat hair is very sticky. It sticks to everything, so I'm just shaking that off so I can see my blade and where it's going. Now I'm shaving his armpit, which is one of the most dangerous places to shave a cat because of all the flaps in there. So you want to make sure you're being extra, extra careful in the armpits and the sanitary area. Now I'm shaving his tail to give him that lion cut. I usually go over the tail a few times. Gotta be careful, you don't want to lift it too high and bother them, and you know, they don't like their tail messed with too much, so I try to make this as quick and easy for Chad as possible. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip him on his tummy. I usually grab both legs. I don't know if you saw that, but I grab those legs just to go ahead and flip him over and make him a little more comfortable. Sometimes they don't always like that, so you just kind of let him move over again a little bit. Just shave his tummy out and his legs. A lot of people like tufts on the end of the legs, but most of the time I tend to take about a 5 blade. Since it's not right on their skin and you're taking it down their legs, it is safe to use a 5 blade. And I take that so it's not kind of like booties on the end of their legs. Gives it a little bit of a nicer, smoother look, so I like to do that. So now I'm back to shaving the tail again to make sure it's nice and clean. I'm going to take my brush and I leave about 2 or 3 inches on the tail to give that lion look. I just brush it and comb it towards the end and just snip the little tip off of the hair just to give it that clean, flat look. And now is when I'm going to be going over Chad for the second time. So this is where I get all of the rough pieces off and give him that very, very clean shaven look. Now I'm going to be shaping his mane, going over it just to make sure it is that nice even round shape. You can go ahead and shape it with the clippers, but you can see after I brush and comb it out, there's still those little scragglies. So I'm going to brush it forward, make sure there's no little knots or mats in there. Get by his ears really close because that's where the mats tend to be. And I'm going to make sure after that, I'm going to take my shears and just go ahead and shape it. After I shape his mane and get him all trimmed up, I'm going to use this Waterless Shampoo. There's a lot of good brands on the market. I don't have necessarily one that I'm specific to. I'm trying new ones out all the time. So I'm going to put some on a rag and go over his head, kind of clean him up a little bit. This gets all those loose hairs off and gives him a little bit of a nicer look and gets him a little bit clean. He's not a big fan of the bath, and I don't want to stress him out too much because he already had a haircut today, so I'm just going to clean him up with this Waterless Shampoo. Now I'm going to take my Best Shot ear cleaner. This works for both dogs and cats. I'm just going to take some cotton balls and put it on there and rub his ears out. His ears are never too dirty, but I like to clean them anyways, just to get any dirt or debris that are in there. You can see he just chills while I do that as well. And make sure not to use Q-tips so you don't hurt their eardrums. After that, I'm going to use a Fresh Breath teeth gel that I like to use on cats. They have a dog version of this as well. I use this on my own pets. If you use it every day, you can tell a noticeable difference. It is a wonderful product, and I did link it below. And that is all we have for today. That is how I groom Chad the cat.